Welcome to Digital Learning. Myself, Dr. Hemakumar. In this video, I am describing about security of DES and multiple DES. Security of DES. DES as the first important block zipper has gone through much scrutiny. Among the attempted attacks, three are of interest. First one, brute force attack. Secondly, differential crypto analysis. Thirdly, linear crypto analysis. Brute force attack, we have discussed the weakness of short zipper key in DES. Combining this weakness with a key complement weakness, it is clear that DES can be broken using 2 to the power of 55 encryption. Differential crypto analysis. It has been revealed that the designer of DES already knew about this type of attack and designed S-box and chose 16 as the number of rounds to make DES specifically resistant to this type of attacks. Linear crypto analysis. In this linear crypto analysis is newer than the differential crypto analysis. DES is more vulnerable to linear crypto analysis than to differential crypto analysis. S-box are not very resistant to linear crypto analysis. It has been shown that DES can be broken using 2 to the power of 43 pairs of known plain text. However, from the practical point of view, finding so many pairs is very unlikely. Multiple criticism of DES regarding its key length. Fortunately, DES is not a group. This means that we can use double or triple DES to increase the key size. Double DES, the simplest form of multiple encryption, has 2 encryption stages and 2 keys. Given a plain text and 2 encryption keys, and zipper text is generated as C is equal to E of K2, E of K, P. Here E double encryption will be done by using 2 different keys. Decryption requires that the key be applied in reverse order, that is P is equal to D of K1, D of K2, C. For DES, this schema apparently involves a key length of bits, resulting in a dramatic increase in cryptographic strength. But we need to examine the algorithm more closely. Double encryption and decryption with a weak keys. P is a plain text. The plain text consists of 64-bit text. Is passed to DES zipper and DES zipper second time DES zipper. So we get a P of 64-bit text. So in DES zipper the weak key is applied. So for that plain text, the zipper code 64-bit text is converted to a inverse DES zipper is done, and double time inverse DES zipper is done to get a plain text of 64-bit. Here the again the key will be the same, the weak key is applied. In the double DES, the first approach is to use double DES meet in the middle attack. However, using a known plain text attack called meet in the middle attack proves that double DES improve this vulnerability slightly to 2 to the power of 57 tests, but not tremendously to 2 to the power of 112. The diagram, the figure 2 shows that P is a plain text, 64-bit plain text is passed to DES zipper, and the DES zipper will convert the mid attacker 64-bit middle text. So using the 64-bit middle text, again it is passed to another DES zipper with a second key. So for the first time the key is key 1 and second time the key is key 2, and whatever the output generated by the key 2 after using a DES zipper second time, the C is generated. The zipper text of 64-bit zipper text is generated. This is called as encryption. Further, in a decryption, the zipper text 64-bit zipper text is passed to DES reverse zipper using the K2. For that K2, it generates the middle text. It is a 64-bit middle text, and that middle text is again passed in a DES reverse zipper using the same key K1. So it generates the 64-bit plain text P. So in the decryption it is a reversing, and in the encryption it is in a order. Again we can increase the level of DES, so triple DES with the 2 keys. So first the input P is given, the P is a plain text, 64-bit plain text is passed to DES zipper using a K1. After DES zipper, again we use the DES reverse zipper using a K2, and the output again is converted into a DES zipper. So 3 times DES zippers is used. So this is for encryption, and for the DES zipper in the encryption key 2 is used, and in the third stage key K1 is applied, and we get a C is 64-bit zipper text. It is passed in the receiver side. The zipper text is received, which is triple DES converted zipper text. It is passed to DES reverse zipper and using a K1, and the output of the DES reverse zipper is passed to DES zipper using a K2, and again the DES zipper output is passed to DES reverse zipper. We converted reverse zipper using a K1. So that generates the plain text of 64-bit plain text. So in the encryption and decryption, the picture is clearly showing that how the reverse process of DES is done using the key. Here the K1 is used twice and K2 is used only once in the middle. Conventional encryption. Refer the conventional or private key or single key. It can be considered as a private key or a single key. Sender and recipient share a common key. All classical encryption algorithms or private key was only time period to invention of public key in 1970s. Some basic terminologies used here is zipper text, the coded message. Zipper, the algorithm for transforming plain text to zipper text. The key information used in zipper known only to sender or receiver. Enzipper is nothing but encrypt, converting the plain text to zipper text. Decipher means decrypt, removing a zipper text from plain text, recovering the zipper text from plain text. Cryptographics, study of encryption principles or methods. Cryptanalysis, the code breaking, the study of the principles or methods of deciphering zipper text without knowing the key. Cryptology, the field of both cryptography and cryptanalysis. Cryptology is the field of both cryptography and cryptanalysis. Conventional encryption principles. An encryption schema has 5 ingredients: plain text, encryption algorithm, secret key, zipper text, decryption algorithm. Secret depends on the secrecy of the key, not the secrecy of the algorithm. Conventional encryption algorithm is shown in this diagram. The 64-bit plain text is passed to an initial permutation, and it is passed for the round 1 to round 16 using K1 to K16 keys. And the key is a permutational choice is a 56-bit keys. After the 16th round, it generates the 32-bit swappers and inverse initial permutation is done and 64-bit zipper text will be generated. Data encryption standards, the most widely used encryption schema is a conventional encryption algorithm. The algorithm is referred to as a data encryption algorithm. DES is a block zipper. The plain text is processed in 64-bit blocks. The key is 56 bits in length, original version. Conventional encryption algorithm is a 64-bit which has been divided into two parts, left and right part, and R is a right part. It is a I1, R bits are I minus 1 bits and L minus 1 bits, the left hand side. Our right side bits are being expansions or permutation is done using a E table, and it is 32-bit is converted into 46 bits. After converting a 48 bits, it is XOR gate is done. After XOR, the output will be 48. That 48 bit is substitution is done using a S box, or a choice is done among the 48 bits, and it is reduced to 32 bit, and that 32 bit is again passed to the permutation, and this process is considered as a single round DES algorithm. So here the output of permutation is again XORed with the left hand side bits, and the output will be stored in RI, and the output of RI input of RI is inserted in left hand side. This round will be done up to 16 times, and this algorithm works in this pattern, and finally we get the CI and DI of the different patterns. DES is mathematically the overall process at each iteration. That is, Li is equal to Ri minus 1. The Ri is equal to Li minus 1 XOR function of a function Ri minus 1 comma Ki. Concerned about the algorithm and the key length is 56 bits.